So Jeff, I wanted just to have a quick conversation with you about, you and I were both selling real estate back the last time that real estate slowed down or went drastically down. Yeah,
Right.
fun
Yeah.
at all. We both survived and made it on the other side. We're in different places. But I just kind of want to talk through any suggestions or tips that agents who have not experienced this before, some things that they should be doing to prepare, since we are aware of what's about to change and we can see it coming.
Well, just for starters, I think everyone should know, anyone who's been in it a while knows that even in a good market, you're going to have bad months. You're going to have months where there's no activity, no sales, that kind of stuff. So don't hit the panic button. To me, unlike other down markets, we're not quite in a down market at this point. With us, there's been no tornado, flooding, fire, or anything like that wipes out our inventory. It's strictly like a pause button, and we have some fear because we don't know how long the pause is going to be. Treat this like, I was thinking about today, we go so hard from the end of January to June, and then we're burned out, and then we kind of disappear and go on vacation, and we're tired of all this other stuff in July. So now I would just say, this is my July. I'm taking a break. I'm taking a breather, and it's actually been nice. No lacrosse, no baseball, no meetings. We're kind of having a chance to take a breath and kind of relax. So use this time to recharge and not to panic. But do stay in touch with everybody, just like you should be doing on months that are slow anyway.
You talked a little bit about just a few minutes ago about not getting paid for a couple of months. Are there any things that you would suggest an agent start looking at and identifying during this time frame? I was kind of thinking through, going back through probably 30 to 60 days worth of your debit card, your bank statements, and your credit card statements, and just looking at some of your reoccurring charges that maybe you signed up for when business was good, and go ahead and see if you can, suspend those for a couple of months. Audibles, for example, I realize that's just $15, but that stuff starts adding up, and that's a way to just kind of reduce some of your overhead while we're paused.
And that's where, because you do get so busy and you add things and you might have done a trial for something. It could have been a real estate related, work related. It could have been something for your kids. It could have been something entertainment strictly. But if you did a trial and it's something you can either cut back, pare back, or kind of trim down. But I can look at my phone right now, and just you saying that reminds me that I've got Game Changer on my phone to follow my kids' baseball games if I'm not there. And so it's only $3 a month, but still you can turn those off because there's no games to be watched anyway, and it would have been turned off when the season's over. So you just kind of go through your phone, go through your computer, go through your accounts and find those things. And that'll definitely help kind of pare it down. But the biggest thing during 07, 08, 09 that we kind of learned back then, being on the owner side of things and transitioning out of that, is that because we all have our own business, you do have to always be careful about, getting too confident in the market and spending too much money. It's a great time to analyze your budget. You're planning for how much money you're going to spend advertising. Maybe you got a little too relaxed and are spending too much money on certain things. And this is when you can kind of you've got time to focus on what's working, what's not working. You can turn off different things from an advertising standpoint, especially if they're month to month and they're just not working. So
if a brand new agent, they don't have any closings in the books, and they've just got their license, they are excited about this industry they've just decided to join, and now this happens, what kind of words of wisdom would you share with them?
We saw a lot of brand new agents get out of the business. They just quit too quick on it, and I don't know how many agents go into it knowing that they need about a 4 to 6 month reserve. And it's good for any agent to have a 4 to 6 month reserve. It would be tough as a new agent, but now is when they can hone their skills on communicating, networking. They're in that phase right now where they've got to reach out and touch as many people as they can by phone. Can't go within 6 feet of them right now, but you can get on the phone, you can shoot them emails, text folks, just kind of stay in touch with them, provide a little bit of information, provide some of the data that you've provided through some of our sales meeting information, just kind of making sure that they're aware that the sky's kind of falling in some areas, but it's not completely falling, and they'll come out of it. But it's building their pipeline, because the way I see this, and I may be wrong, but this really is a pause button. And like I said earlier, we're not losing our inventory to some natural disaster. We just happen to have a pause hit. And when this does stop, it's going to be like a mad scramble to buy up everything that is available. So any agent,
tidal wave that just unleashes and takes out people. Yeah,
which didn't happen in the 08-09 because it was such a slow recovery. I see this as a very fast recovery. And if you're not prepared to come out of it, like if you stick your head in the sand and stop working right now, the ball stops rolling, you're going to be scrambling another 30 to 60 days to get everything back running. So new agents just need to keep doing what they were doing, because they're probably not overly busy with tons of inventory anyway. So if they have buyers, just keep sending them stuff. If they can do some virtual stuff with houses, you can right now in certain areas drive around. So if you can drive around, maybe take some pictures and all that kind of stuff, then you're still in good shape. But don't get discouraged. It's probably not a whole lot different than if this hadn't happened from your standpoint as a new agent.
All right. So anything else you wish that you had done differently, 7, 8, 9, that, you plan on handling differently this time, or can share with some of our agents who will watch this down the road?
You have a tendency in good times to think that you're bulletproof. And so I think in that, like 06, 05, 04, I mean, it was like I had to make sure my hammer wasn't broken, and I didn't have pens that were out of ink. That was before DocuSign, so we actually had to use our pens. But I would say that, just if you don't freak out about it, and if you don't overspend at any point, then this time period right now has not got you panicked. The tendency we have as real estate agents, because I know I did it when I first got in, is I wrote a contract. It was getting real close to closing, so I went ahead and thought about, what am I going to spend this money on? And I went ahead and start pre-spending instead of doing the other way, to where you just have your budget. And if you make an extra $1,000, $10,000, whatever, 1 month that you don't need, doesn't mean you have to spend it.
Nope, it sits there.
Yeah, just sit it there, because you will have bad months. The 08-09, I mean, those were long periods of time that we went through bad markets, but we still sold. And the ones who were prepared, I guess from a skill set standpoint, from an ability to communicate, an ability to get out and talk to people, and to build their circle of influence and sphere of influence, those folks, they're still in it today, and they got better at that time. So when it gets a little tougher, it creates more conversation, and you also learn some different, I guess, verbiage that you can talk to people, some scripting and some different things like that you can practice on right now.
All right. Thank y'all all for watching our video today. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me, email. And then, Jeff, we'll make sure his contact information too. So if you would like to talk with Mr. Newman about how he survived one-on-one, I'm sure he'll be glad to answer any questions you have too.